Hey everyone, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, and today I have a very special interview for you. I am joined by another limb lengthening patient who underwent two limb lengthening surgeries to correct her condition of hypochondroplasia with signs of achondroplasia. And if you don't know what that is, that's two of the most common forms of dwarfism. And she's here to share her experience. So welcome to the show, Alexa. How are you?
Hello, so I'm doing great.
Can you just share a little bit about the condition that you have? When did you first learn that you had hypochondroplasia, and how did it affect the quality of your life?
It was basically in like the sixth month of when my mother was pregnant with me, and there were signs of like I had shorter limbs than most people do, and also I had like a little bit bigger head, so the signs were pretty common, but they were not really sure. So they waited till I was born, and the thing was that I grew up pretty normally, but then when I was like 10, I started to grow much slower than other kids around me. So there was the time where they really saw that I have a pretty mild form of dwarfism.
If it's affecting your quality of life, you can undergo limb lengthening to correct it. So, can you talk a little bit about, did you just kind of think, hey, limb lengthening is the solution and I'll go through with it?
People always tell me that, like, there is a surgery where you can go and have your limbs lengthened, and you should go and do it. Like, you will sit there for a year and then everything will be okay. But it's really not like that. And, people are like, I am meter 50 and I want to get taller. But for me, it was because my femurs and tibias, they are losing the cartilage pretty fast, and like the whole setup of my bones wasn't correct, so that's why I needed to undergo the surgery. And yes, it is pretty common also for the femurs to be lengthened for the people with dwarfism, but it's really not for the height, but it's for the medical reasons, because you can have like the problems with walking and all of the stuff like that.
You heard of limb lengthening from people in your life, or how did you find out about it?
In my country, like in Slovakia, it is really not common to undergo the surgery. I was like the second person in my city to undergo this. And like we have only one surgeon in whole Slovakia that really does the femurs. Like the tibias are more common, so femurs are less common here. So it was pretty shock for me.
When was your first lengthening surgery?
It was in June of 2023. And like I got the information that I will have the surgery covered by insurance, because it's pretty problem to get it, because it costs 30,000 per 1 lakh. So I underwent the surgery, and I don't know what else I can say about it.
That's great. So June 2023, you had the first surgery.
Mhm.
When was the second surgery?
The second one was on December 2023. I only had the tibias
Only
lengthened.
the
I
tibias. You
had
did one
nothing done
tibia.
with femur.
Got it.
It was the right first,
The
because
right.
my right leg was more bowed than the left one, so they wanted to correct it first.
What were the surgeries like physically, emotionally? And you said there was a significant correction, like to improve the alignment or angular deformity of
Mhm.
your tibia. Talk about that a little bit.
So, physically, it is best to really prepare yourself that you will be laying on the bed mostly for like 1 year. So, I was kind of counting that I will gain some weight, and what they told me is that I needed to gain some muscles, because as much muscles you have, it is much better for your legs to recover. So, I started to exercise much more than I used to. And I'm like a horse rider, so it wasn't kind of a problem for me to gain muscles there. And you also need to prepare yourself mentally. Surround yourself with friends, family, good books, movies. I started to bake food during that time.
So it's basically just, try to find a way to build your physical strength, but also to kind of stay busy essentially and just
hmm
emotionally strong, mentally strong, because it's a
Like
it's a big endeavor.
if I wouldn't stay busy, I don't know, I would just be in such a depression, I think.
I
So people can imagine is that how you have ankles, I could stand on them. That's 45 degrees.
Jeez.
So, like, the problem was that I could sprain my ankle whenever I wanted to, and it was pretty painful, and it never went there that much. So, also, then my knees started to lose cartilage because of the bad leg posture. So, from 45 degrees, they turned my legs to 10 degrees. We also Here is the x-ray of my leg. Here you can see how my bones were built. They did a cut here and also here in the fibula. And they turned my bone and also they turned and kind of adjusted the muscles and tendons and everything that was there to get the right shape. I don't have any cartilage. It is supposed to be white here, but here is also that cut of the fibula, so the bone can be turned.
Reconstructive surgery to straighten out your legs to go from 45 degrees of curvature down to 10 degrees to the normal range. How did it feel waking up from surgery and knowing that, the lengthening has started and you're going to have straight legs?
I can say that it was like really the best feeling ever, and like I woke up and I was like, okay, I am feeling a lot of pain, but the first thing I noticed is that my leg was straight. I really felt like it was really straight. And I was like, oh, this is such a good feeling. People are so lucky that you have straight legs.
What was some of the most unexpected parts of the surgery?
Maybe the risks that it would go with, and also the risks like allergy on the cast that made me a nerve damage because I never counted with that
Wow,
happening.
you had nerve damage.
Yes,
Can you
but
talk a little bit
maybe
about
we
the
can.
complications you had?
So like after the surgery, after the anesthesia, you have some symptoms from it, and I also got a bit allergy from that. So it made a healing process a bit longer, I think, but it wasn't nothing significant. And like I really thought that maybe I will be able to walk much sooner, but I couldn't.
Okay.
I had the bone pain for sure, and also I had like some muscle pain, muscle soreness, and because of the cast allergy, my leg burnt. Like when you burn yourself on the stove, they were like, you are overreacting, there's nothing much. And when they cut open it, they saw that it really burned my leg. So what is still present in both of my legs is numbness, and also what I was diagnosed with is the paresthesia, I think that's how it's spelled, and the peripheral neuropathy. So, and I also have the partial paralysis of the big toe on the left leg, and also some posterior muscle is paralyzed there, so I can't move it that much, and I can't like tell you if you are touching the leg right now.
Yeah. So you
And
have a little bit of numbness and partial
mhm.
paralysis, and this is your left leg.
In my left leg, it's much worse than in the right leg. And
In
the
both.
thing is that the left leg was operated like 5 months later.
Wow, that's crazy. So the right leg was first, and then the left leg was second,
hmm
and the left leg seems to have more of the symptoms.
hmm
I see. Now, have they gotten better?
I needed to undergo another rehabilitations with like some electrodes being shot to my leg. So I underwent that, and I can wiggle my toes a bit more, I think, and also I can like feel when you are touching it.
Yeah. So it's getting a little bit better.
hmm
Okay. So how much length did you actually lengthen, Alexa?
I was supposed to get like 8 centimeters, but they only could go 4 centimeters. The reason was that when the surgeon cut me open, he saw
Yeah.
that like there was a lot of bone damage that needed to be removed, and he wasn't that sure if my body would handle that much of a lengthening. So he decided that he would cut it like for half from 8 centimeters to 4 centimeters.
And how are you doing now? How's your bones healed? How are you moving around mobily?
Like, mobily, I am able to do whatever I want. I was never able to run before, and
Yeah.
now I can run freely.
Wow. You could
Uh,
never run before in your life?
no. I would
That's
sprain my
incredible.
ankles and all of
Yeah.
the stuff, so.
That's incredible.
I went on 3 rounds total from the time that I could run.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why people do that, because the next day you can't stand up from your bed. And, like, I can really do whatever sport I want. It's pretty normal. But what is a problem that I noticed, and it is pretty, like, kind of catching me on the nerves, is that when I am standing a lot on one place or maybe not moving around that much, my legs start to be pretty sore. And during the summer, where there is a lot of swelling in the legs, they feel just so heavy. And maybe also sometimes when you are going downhill or uphill, you can still feel pretty sore in your legs.
So you think it's more muscle?
Mm-hmm.
I see. So maybe it's still getting stronger and recovering a little bit. But how tall were you before the surgery?
Before the surgery, I was like 143, 44 centimeters tall, approximately.
Yeah.
And now I am 148, I think.
Incredible.
4 feet 9 inches for
4 feet 9 inches.
Americans.
Yeah. And do you plan to have a sequential or another lengthening in the future, or is this it?
I talked about it with my surgeon, and he recommended me to undergo the femurs lengthening surgery, but like not for I want to be taller 10 centimeters, so not for the aesthetics, even though for the pain I would like to be taller, but for the consequences of my legs being kind of torn down by the bad posture.
Quality of life, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Well, are you planning to do that, or?
Maybe when I will finish my high school, I will take a year to go under the surgery and do that, but it's really like 50-50. I'm really not thinking about that much right now.
You had your major issue corrected and you're
Mm-hmm.
happy. You can run now. That's
Yes,
incredible.
yes.
I love it. So, I think your story's incredible, Alexa. I really do. I mean, to go through such a crazy process. I mean, you had to get a deformity correction and lengthening at the same time. And you talked about, other advice you can give to patients, such as mentally preparing, physically preparing, gaining muscle, and, being ready for the downtime. So if there's one thing that you could tell your pre-surgery self, what would you say?
Ooh, that's a deep question. So, me being 15, I would say to myself that maybe go for it. It will hurt a lot. It will hurt as hell. You will not be so satisfied maybe, but go for it and you will go for a run and enjoy yourself.
That's incredible advice. I mean, I had a very similar experience for myself. It's like a little scary at first. You don't know what to expect, but after it's all said and done, you're like, come on now, this can make your life better. And look at you now. You're running, you're taller, you don't have the sprained ankles from the activities that you do. And I want to ask you one more question. Do you feel that, going through all of this, you would say that you're not just, physically better, but you're also mentally better as a person?
I am feeling much more confident with my legs because when they were both, I really did never liked to show them. So now I am not really minding if I'm wearing shorts, and also the scars look cool. So
So you're cool with the
because
scars.
yes, because my scars, like when you have both legs, and when I put my legs together, you see the scars how they are smiling. So I'm like, I
That's so
have
cool.
smiling legs.
I love
Also,
it.
the
Smiling.
surgeon is proud of those two scars. He's like, that's the best from my 30 years of career.
This has been such an amazing story, and I think that your advice to other patients out there who may have a form of, a skeletal dysplasia, which is basically hypochondroplasia, achondroplasia, you basically are giving them hope, something to look forward to. Thank you for coming on and sharing your experience about your lengthening and deformity reconstruction. I think that now you have straight legs, you're able to get back to a lot of the normal activities that you loved, and hopefully you'll be able to do all of those things into the future and continue to inspire other patients with, you know, hypochondroplasia. So thank you so much, Alexa, and hope to
I would
have you
like
on
to
another
thank you
future.
for having me and being able to kind of make this interview. It was really fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.